Thank you. Senator Duckworth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Daniels, you noted that for the first time in history, and you just said you commend Secretary Duffy and FAA Administrator for finding a way to keep the Air Traffic Controller Academy open and keep training. In your conversations with them during the shutdown, did you ask them to find a way to also pay air traffic controllers since they found a way to keep the academy going?
I did not specifically have that request of them during it, but it was loud and clear that paying the air traffic controllers is essential.
So it was, you commend them for keeping their academies going, but you didn't actually ask them to pay the air traffic controllers. I mean, if DOD, if FAA can continue hiring and training air traffic controllers because of failing to do so would risk the imminent loss of life or loss of personal property, surely there's a case to be made for paying air traffic controllers from reprogrammed funds or even donations from industry. I mean, if DOD can use funds that Congress authorized and appropriate for R&D and not salaries and expenses, along with accepting a billionaire's donation of over $100 million to pay military men and women, what stops FAA from following suit and reprogramming funds from accounts like the Airport and Airways Trust Fund to pay air traffic controller salaries or solicit donations from industry? Did you have a conversation about using those funds to pay the air traffic controllers, which I would have supported?
I did not have a specific conversation as what you're referencing, but I'll put my request on record from now on in the future. I welcome any chance to pay air traffic controllers for the work that they're doing, and they should never go uncompensated for the work that's being done or used as a political pawn in a political dispute.
Right. I think that's what's happening today, is that you're being used as a political pawn. When this hearing was advised, it was called the damage of the democratic shutdown. I have been the strongest supporter of air traffic controllers. I think you should have been paid. I think that we should have caught up Senator Moran's bill or Senator Cruz's bill. We could have passed it and you should have been paid. It is unconscionable that we had at least one death by suicide that I heard of an air traffic controller in the shutdown. This is not acceptable in our nation. But what is happening today is political theater to use you guys as pawns to score points post-shutdown. I would rather we be talking about what we need to do to get, for example, Mrs. Sununu, the data that Secretary Duffy talked about that was forthcoming for why we needed to do the slowdowns. I think we all would like to see that data. None of us have seen it. I think we should be talking about passing these pieces of legislation in a bipartisan way. We should not be scoring political points, but we are here now. So since we are here, I'm gonna talk about why we had a shutdown in the first place, which is healthcare. Let me just ask our witness, Ms. Spickler, as a cancer survivor yourself, how do you feel about Republican proposals that would revive high-risk pools and largely seek to promote schemes that lower health insurance premiums by giving young and healthy Americans junk plans in exchange for permission to screw over Americans with pre-existing conditions, disabilities, and other serious medical conditions?
Thank you, Senator Duckworth. I remember what it was like before the ACA was passed, and it was horrible. When I was in my 30s, I went twice without health insurance. I could not afford it. I was getting medication from Canada until the whole donut hole thing started, which, anyways, yeah, and I don't agree with it because I lived it. This is my lived experience, and I don't want to be a political pawn either. What I am dealing with is just as important as air safety. And so I don't understand why it has to be so bipolar. Why can't it be both and instead of either or? They are equally important. They both need to be addressed. And stealing money from one to pay billionaires is not fair. None of this is fair. And I don't even know if I'm going off topic or not, but I had pre-existing conditions and I could not qualify for any kind of affordable plan. It was like $1,200 and that was 30 years ago, a month.
You're right, we should not be pitting air traffic controllers against the healthcare affordability for Americans. And that's not the purpose of this committee. The purpose of this committee is, and this subcommittee is air traffic safety. And that's what we should be focused on. So let's stop with the games. We can focus on what we need to do to move forward, but let's remember how we got here, but also remember who championed you during the FAA reauthorization. I did. I was the biggest supporter of air traffic controllers. And to come in here and act like you don't remember any of that is offensive to me. I yield back.